Okay, so this is number 3. I'm going to do like maybe even 4 separate videos for this, just for each question. So I'm going to do question A first, and we just need to state the domain, range, y-intercepts, equations of the asymptotes, all that stuff, okay, and then create a quick sketch. So that's what the graphs are for, okay. So for A, f of x is equal to 5 over x minus 3. Let's just run through our list of things. So that I know vertical asymptote, well, vertical asymptote can be at x equals positive 3. We know the horizontal asymptote for reciprocal linear functions is going to be at y equals 0. Okay, and then I can solve for the x-intercept, which occurs when y is equal to 0. Okay, and then so I'd say, okay, well, 0 equals 5 over x minus 3. And if I multiplied both sides by x minus 3, the 0 would consume it, which is why we say the x-intercepts typically come from the numerator. And because I don't have a variable within the numerator, I'm going to say that I actually have no x-intercept. So that would be why, like, the algebra is explaining why I don't have an x-intercept. But conceptually, you have a horizontal asymptote at y equals 0. Okay? And so it makes sense that there's no x-intercept because you have a horizontal asymptote at y equals 0. Now, that's not always the case. You can have instances where there's an x-intercept and a horizontal asymptote at y equals 0. We'll probably see one of those questions in a more complicated rational expression later. Okay, so no x-intercept. The y-intercept is going to be when x equals 0, and so you're just going to evaluate the function at 0. It'll be 5 over 0 minus 3, and so you're going to get negative 5/3. Okay, and then we could put all that information on the graph. Okay, so everything from your vertical asymptote to your horizontal asymptote, all that stuff. Okay, so we're going to see, sorry, we should probably actually say this is negative 1.667, somewhere in there, okay, negative 1.7. So just put all this information on there. So you got a vertical asymptote at 3. Okay, should be over a little bit more, didn't do too well there. Okay, so that's at x equals 3, and then you also have a horizontal asymptote at y equals 0. Okay, and then we found there to be a y-intercept at 0 and negative 1.7, basically, so somewhere in here. Okay, so what I'm actually going to do too, just for consistency's sake, is I'm just going to try and find, we said in class, like, I'm pretty sure that this graph's over here somewhere. It's going to look like that, but I'm just going to get it a little more precise, and I'm going to check where is the graph on both sides of the asymptote. Okay, and to do that, especially with the linear ones, as we saw in the last video, like, I want to be able to see if there's some sort of vertical stretch or not, right? What I'm interested in doing is I'm just going to evaluate the function at, say, 2. So f at 2 should give me some y value, and that's going to be 5 by 2 minus 3. And so f at 2 is going to be 5 by negative 1. Okay, so you get a point down here. When x is 2, the y value is going to be negative 5. That seems to be pretty consistent with the fact that, like, we can tell pretty easily what the vertical stretch here is, and it's 5. Okay, because that original point should have been down in here somewhere originally, right? Like, it was the 1 over x graph with a vertical asymptote at x equals 3. The original point would have been there. It would have been vertically stretched, right? And so same thing on the other side. If I wanted to figure out where the corresponding point to that one would be, up here, there, wherever it may be, I'm just going to evaluate on this side of the asymptote, right? So let's say at 4. So f at 4 is going to equal 5 by 4 minus 3. which is going to be 5 by 1. So up here. All right, so now I'm pretty confident that like that's enough. I've got the idea. I know that this graph's going to go towards the vertical asymptote, come down, let me draw it nicely, maybe not, and then swing towards the horizontal asymptote and do something like this. It's a sketch, by the way, not a detailed graph, right? It says sketch a graph. So I'm just sketching it. I'm going through the points that I found through my y-intercept and towards the horizontal asymptote. Okay, so there you go. There's the graph of f of x is equal to 5 by x minus 3. Okay.